Bonjour, nous sommes au Canada.
Bonjour et bienvenue au Canada. So we're going to talk about the work that we've been doing within the working group digital, and that we had a great meeting this week in Montreal that we discussed some important topics. We're going to start with the tactical subjects that we've addressed, and then we'll talk about more the strategic topics that we'll be going forward on implementing within our working group. Sheronda, what have we done so far?
So this week, we've updated IFMD1. That document is actually published and available on the website. We've continued with regard to IFMD 8 and 9 and also 23. So expect some limited revisions related to specifically audit and assessment for those documents. Again, that's 1, 8, 9, and 23. And we've continued work on IFMD 4, which is the mandatory document for the use of information and communication technologies for audit and assessment.
Great. We have also tried to work on the comments that we have received from the IAF members about the ISO 17012, and I think we're going on the right track into trying to use that document as well as a guidance document for IAF members. So in terms of more strategic topics that we wanted to try to tackle going forward, so I guess, Sheronda, we discussed about AI. I think it was a great discussion during the meeting about AI. So what do you think about what we're going to do forward about AI?
Well, we had a very robust discussion with regard to AI. It was so robust that we ended up creating what we're calling a project team to talk about the use of artificial intelligence in conformity assessment. What was interesting about that discussion was that we talked about terms of reference, and we had two sets of terms of reference that were presented for that team. One set was drafted by human, and another set that was drafted using AI. And so lots of good discussion with regard to what the AI came up with. We ultimately agreed once again on a project team for the use of AI in conformity assessment. And then we switched over and we talked about how we're going to continue to push forward with regard to the IAF and digitalization. I think it was a digitalization roadmap.
Correct. So while we were discussing about the roadmap going forward, we thought that we may need to review actually the name of the working group, because I think digital is a little bit limited, and we think that we may even enlarge that for another name. So do you have any names in mind, Sheronda?
It's funny because some of the team members, they tossed out some names, and we actually once again used AI to come up with some possible names. And so some of the names that were thrown about, the Working Group for Innovation, the Working Group for Future Thinking, and there was the Working Group for Foresight. Those
Correct.
were some proposals that we'll be looking forward.
Excellent. And we've seen also a lot of interest. I think we have around like 50 members, and I think like over 85 attended our meeting. I think we're also receiving more interest to actually be member of the working group as well.
And there's interest with regard to us liaisoning, oof, that's a tough word for me right now, with other members, organizations. We've talked about having a relationship with the ISO-TC that's responsible for the Internet of Things and the ISO-TC that's responsible for artificial intelligence. And so we've talked about having some partnerships, some information sharing. I know, for example, that the IEC CAB, I think that's their Conformity Assessment Board, that they also have a task force that's looking at artificial intelligence. And so we've talked about reaching out to them too and forming some sharing of information there.
So yeah, we're looking forward to having several meetings before our next IAF meeting in Berlin next year. So hopefully we can move forward with these deliverables.
Thanks. Bonjour.